Welcome back to Where Hornets Walk. Watford just don't do losing on the first day of the season, do they? And also, they used to not win at Millwall. That's all changed. Welcome back to Where Hornets Walk. We've got Aaron and Luke with us to review that amazing Millwall game and talk about whether the early season pessimism has now shifted away from Vicarage Road. Welcome to Where Hornets Walk. We're going to go and jump straight into it. That's a happy, smiling face from you two. That's what we like to see. It was all a bit doom and gloom last week. Go on, Aaron.
Yes,
you can talk us through it then. Bonkers game. But talk us through the positives, Aaron.
No, like you say, bonkers is definitely the word. I couldn't quite believe what was happening when we ended up 2-0 up after the end of the first half. I mean, I think we were really positive. A lot of the work that we saw done in pre-season regarding how we were playing and the press going forward was there. It was just sort of typical Watford in the way that we were quite positive for 20 minutes and then we sort of stepped off and let them come on to us. The first goal, I mean, being honest, it's a fluke, but you'll absolutely take them. And I think we did enough really that first half to go in 1-0 up.
It's the Millwall fans were talking about offside and fluke and didn't deserve it against a run of play. But Luke, are you having any of that? On the balance of play, did you deserve 3 points?
I wouldn't say we actually did, to be honest. I'm not like trying to be negative, but I'm trying to see like the realistic side of it. Just I don't want to get my hopes up for Stoke to all come crashing down. But we did score a corner, which is very, very lucky for Watford, and a free kick, which I believe was probably one of our free kick we scored, probably the first one since lockdown. I think we never scored a free kick, cracking goal, and then a deflection. It is like three sort of un-Watford goals, I would say. But Mill did have a lot of good chances. They had about three headers, which they should have been putting away. They hit the post twice. Within the first half, they had that little blip of a really good spell 5 minutes towards the end where they should have equalised, where hit the post and then Surratt had done a great block off the line. Personally, I thought that we were quite lucky to get the 3 points. When it went 2-1 at 2-0, I thought, here we go again. And yeah, just like Aaron said, a bit of craziness to get us that goal at the end. And I think we've probably cashed in the game of the season. First game, it'd be hard to beat that game, especially with how dross our games were last season. It was a cracking game, and I'll take the 3 points any other day because, I think like me, Aaron, and Rio said last week, we were expecting to lose. So a point before the game, I would have shook your hand and said thank you very much. But happy days, man. We got 3 points in the end, and in that fashion as well.
Amazing. Neil Harris said that he felt Millwall were a bit emotional at the start, and I suppose I really wanted to kick off and say massive credit to Watford fans for their part in the celebration of Martin Harris's commemorations. And our Millwall fan last night said that he even had a tear in the eye when the banner was unfurled in the Watford end. Watford have always been classy fans, Aaron, but that just highlights just how classy, doesn't it?
Yeah. That plan was actually sort of in motion the minute we sort of knew. I think sort of when I can't remember which came first, but it was pretty much as soon as we were aware that we'd be playing Millwall the first day, and that incident had occurred, that people were saying we want to make sure we do something. We did a similar thing actually for the Leicester owner. We were one of their first games after that. And we did a similar thing. We brought a banner, and things are like that are way bigger than football, and it's important that just as human beings you respect that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely top class Watford fans. Okay, Luke, I'm going to throw a spanner in these very joyful works now. Then, so this result doesn't help you because last week you spoke very much about investments and things needed, but owners far away looking at the result potentially now will go, well, you're all right. You don't need my millions. How far along do you agree with that?
I disagree with that. I think that's a very Watford thing that the pods probably think. It could start the season and it won't need to invest. I think, from a transfer perspective, it might have done us better to have a wake-up call if we lost, and then they'd spend more money. But I'm hoping that we get some Premier League loans towards the end of the window. I've heard with pre-season and a lot of players in the Euros that the most likely of Premier League loans will be towards the end, and it looks like the way the club financially is at the moment, in terms of spending anyone on a permanent deal, that it will be a loan from like a Premier League club. So we're just going to have to wait. I think the next sort of couple of weeks it'll be more of a last minute. Same as most of the Championship sides, we're all in the same boat. That looks like it will be like a last minute sort of call. I'm hoping we get probably another right back and a centre back in, I would say so personally, for that, and maybe a striker as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers for that, Luke. Aaron, following our conversation last week on here, I saw my first league table prediction where Watford were predicted to go down. Did you see enough last? I know it's only one game, but did you see enough to suggest that actually that's not going to be a conversation we have to have much this year?
I think, like you say, it is one game, so we're going to have to hold off on saying we're sort of safe. But I'd say what I did see was some promising signs and results of other teams. That there probably is going to be 3 teams worse than us.
Yes, you watched the Plymouth game as well yesterday, did you? Yeah, and best on Friday night. Okay. All right, got some takes from the game I want you to have a look at then on Rate My Take. Have a look at these. Luke, I'll give you the first one. This is from HD Clock 95. Set pieces excellent. Lessons need to be learnt on the right side, switching off, allowing Millwall back in. Some great passages of attack and defence, victory for nations to develop on. There's a few others that commented on the right-hand side of Watford. Is that significantly weaker? Do you think you'd agree with that?
I think defensively, especially on Saturday, you could see the weakness on the right side in terms of getting at Andrews. I think that will be weak for when we play Derby. I was straight away thinking about Derby when we play them. For their left wing is really good. I watched against Blackburn the other day. But I think where we were lacking a bit more was going forward. I think defensively we looked okay. It was just because of where we got Sema injured. He's not fully fit. He did come on towards the last 20 minutes where we saw a lot more positivity. But with Ngakia playing as, he's a natural right back or a right wing back, playing in the back 5 as a left wing back, he's naturally cutting into his right foot every time. So we had a lot of more opportunities where we got down the left side really well, but we just lacked that sort of end product with a better ball in the box. And then when Sema came on towards the end, we saw that difference straight away. So I think if Sema is back for Stoke on Saturday, we'll look a bit more better defensively. But in terms of that right side defending again, Andrews, I have a lot of trust in. I think a lot of the Watford fans have a lot of trust in. He works really hard and he's got better as he's gone along. And I think that's only going to shine through this season. And it's more of that, if he does really well, will be at us next season. He's similar to Tom Delibashuri as well.
Okay. All right, Aaron, you can have this one. I mean, he's not here, so we can talk about him. Rio posts, Sissoko's quite a solid signing, just hopefully he's not overused and fades out just like Livermore did in the second half of last season. Agree with that one?
Yeah, I thought he played all right. It's just he's sort of just picked up the same role as he had when he was first with us. He's a bit of a workhorse, really good at carrying the ball, hard to push off the ball. I think there's occasionally lapsed concentration a little bit, particularly what Millwall's second goal actually stemmed from was a bit of a mix-up between him and Ryan Porteous. But no, I agree, and I think this idea of not overusing people, I think that applies to every player in the team. Particularly like we just mentioned there with Ryan Andrews, young guy with a lot of trust in him, and we're quite hopeful that he'll go on to be something quite good, maybe even bigger than Watford. But I think him and Ngakia, the way we use them can be important in the sense that there might be games where we have to rotate them, especially obviously the Championship. You have so many games. I agree with Luke again about Ngakia in going forward. He was quite positive actually. The only thing that let him down was that he was constantly having to go to his right foot because he wasn't as keen on going down the outside. I think if we can see that kind of movement on the right from Ngakia when Andrews maybe needs the rest or whatever, then we can be quite fruitful on that side.
Okay. All right. We mentioned Livermore there. Of course, it was him that scored the goal in this same fixture against Stoke last season, 1-1 draw. Stoke had beat Coventry, which is a bit of a surprise, a bit of a coupon buster, I think, for some. Luke, how do you see this one going? They're a tough side, Stoke. They're never goal thrillers, these games. So I'd eat my hat if this is going to be 3-2.
I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a lot more different to how Millwall was, where we seem to be the better side in terms of going forward. But with Stoke, I can see us struggling a little bit, coming back to more of our sort of where we expect to be. I personally think that we'll get a draw, maybe 1-1, 2. I haven't worked it out yet, but I think that Stoke will be a lot more different to Millwall. They'll be a lot more positive going forward, and hopefully having that end product as well. Not hopefully, obviously, but they'll have that end product that Millwall didn't have again. Had a lot of good chances, a lot of free headers where you'd hope that Cleverly saw in training. They've got a game tomorrow against MK Dons, where we should see a lot of players rested. The focus actually for the Carabao Cup this season, but yeah. I personally think that we get a draw.
Okay, I'll come on to the Carabao Cup in a second. Cheers for that, Luke. All right, then let's stop looking at positions. Then we're going to go through each position in the coming weeks and ask you your views on it. We'll start with goalkeeper, if that's okay. Then, Aaron, where are we? Let me just there. Where are we then with your views on the goalkeeping situation at Watford? Is it an area we need to invest in?
Yeah, he's been under quite a lot of criticism in recent seasons. I think a fair bit of that is justified. I think turning off the end of last season and going and that Millwall game, his shot stopping's actually become a lot more consistent again now. I think the problem we have with him is playing out. I don't know if he's told to hold the ball long and allow everyone to go up the pitch, but I did notice that when he was doing that, some of the players around him were having a go at him and saying, why aren't you releasing it? I think it was Matty Pollock had a right go at him at one point because he didn't release the ball. So did, I think, Edo Kayembe. I'm not sure he's sure himself when it comes to distributing the ball. In that regard, do I think we could be a lot better with a different keeper? Yes. Do I think it's the priority right now? No, I think we can get by this season with Dan back on goal still.
Okay. Luke, do you agree with that?
Yeah, agreed. I think his distribution is where he is very poor. I think we've had a lot of times where if any player presses him, he'll just get scared and just move it away. He done that against Millwall the other day. I think it was in the 90th minute where there wasn't even a press on. It was just a ball back and he just sort of hoofed it first time. It went straight out and the pressure's onto us. I kind of sometimes get it when he picks up the ball and just wants to hold it and sort of just calm the pressure down. But to Aaron's point, I think there are so many times that even when the fans are behind him, especially when he plays at Watford in the Rookery, they give him a lot of stick just to release it straight away. I think that's where he just can't make the decision up. And it seems like really the rest of the back line is still not aligned to that as well, which I think is a bit of an issue. The team needs to know what the goalkeepers expect them to do, because if we are going to counter, which we tend to not counter that well, and that is probably starts with the goalkeeper where, a really quick reaction to getting the ball out and we can go from there. But it's always been very sort of, I actually don't know how he's going to distribute it, if he's going to hold on to it, if he's going to get away really quickly. And even when he's on the ball, it's quite concerning sometimes, especially when teams press really well against us, which teams in the last sort of season have worked out that they need to press back, but it does them really well, and it helps them to get the ball higher up the pitch, because most likely it's a throw in higher up the pitch and then the pressure's on to us again.
Okay. Cheers for that. Before I do the last set of questions for you, if you are a Watford fan, I know there's tons of options for you to listen and watch. This is the fastest and only magazine style content that you'll find on Watford on the internet, so we would love you to subscribe. Also follow Luke at Luke Carey 1881, and Aaron will get him to put his Twitter handle on for next week, as both of them have really entertaining views on Watford. And Rio will be back off holiday next week as well. Okay, you two, time for some added time. Final questions. Okay, 60 seconds. 1 word, 2 word answers only, please. No monologues. Aaron, starting with you. We've just talked about goalkeepers. Who's the best ever goalkeeper to put on a Watford shirt in your eyes?
In my time, Rodrigo Gomez.
Luke, who's the worst that you've seen between the sticks? There's been a few.
I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, he played one game again. Oh, I forgot his name. Aaron probably knows. He played one game for us before the Leicester playoff final.
Jack Bottom.
Yeah, that's it.
Jack Bottom. He's
Yeah,
so now, isn't he?
Yeah, the worst solo game ever in a huge game. Jack Bottom. Yeah.
Okay. A quick ref watch for us. Aaron, you score the referee. The Millwall game? Out of 10?
6, 7.
Yeah. Okay, Millwall fans didn't agree, but as you would imagine. Luke, can you revise your prediction for Watford this season based on what you saw on Saturday?
I'm still going to stick with my 20th prediction. I still feel like that will stay the same.
All right,
we'll see how Stoke goes. It might change from there if we get 6 out of 6.
Okay, and a question for both of you around the Carabao Cup importance. If I could offer you now the trophy, you're going to win it. You'll win it at Wembley against Luton. You'll win 4-0. Okay, it's yours. You can have it now. Or you can be promoted to the Premier League this season. Aaron, which one are you taking?
Carabao Cup.
You're the only fan that said that so far. Everyone else wants to. Luke?
Carabao Cup, 100%. We need a trophy.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the Stoke game. We'll obviously talk about the MK Dons game with you next week as well. And well done, Watford. Yeah, up and running. Good to see them smiles on where Hornets walk. For now, long may it last. Cheers, fellas, and thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you next week.